So things can and will change, and in fact, they change all the time, which is, once again, why one of my favorite sayings is the only constant in life is change. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be the same, and that is why the final 48th law of power in Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power is to assume formlessness. This one reminds me of a saying that my football coach used to have, which is to not act but react. Essentially, you could go through the motions and run all the probabilities and like do what you were trained to do, but at the end of the day, that isn't guaranteed to happen. Going back to probability, like nothing is ever 0% chance, no matter how slim it is. So you have to be able to assume that formlessness and be in the moment to react to the situation, and you might actually effectively take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. And I guess in that sense of football, it's tackle the offensive person that has the ball. Because if you just go by what practice is telling you, it's like, oh no, they're just going to come this way, they're coming up the gap, whatever. They're running towards me. I wrap them up and I take them down as a defenseman, linebacker, cornerback, whatever it is. But in practice, they don't do stiff arms and juke moves and any kind of spin. So like that's why you have to react, because they might juke you out. It's not going to just be how practice would be, where it's like you're just shooting the gap, doing whatever, and then you're practicing. Like it's the real life. It's the real life world. Nah, I mean, LOL. But anyways, we do base our life on a set of rules and on a set of how things go for the most ways. But that doesn't mean that they're always going to go that way. And that's why you should be able to be formless in the sense that you could move like water and flow and be where you need to be and do what you need to do, and not have your mental state in a solid form. Your mental state should always be able to flow like water and be able to think of either something to go around or just be able to react. Because at the end of the day, like, you see this sometimes, and honestly a lot of times, in just like panic situations, right? People are going through their normal day. They know that this thing, they've done it day in and day out. This normal thing happens, but something wild happens, like their car crash, just as an example. A lot of people don't know what to do. They freeze up. They're just like, this isn't part of my programming. And not to say any like NPC kind of thing or anything like that. Like, I don't like calling people that in general. But they just don't know what to do. But you'll see the other people that know, even if it's not their job to be like a fireman or an EMT or a police officer, and they just snap right into it because that's something that they're used to. That's their programming. But there's just random people that will sort of be like, oh, we need to do something, and their mental state flows like water. They're not stopped up by some random occurrence that happened in their life. If you don't have that skill, that's a very, very good skill to build. I'll tell you that right now. But on another side note, the book does talk about how it's just like, for example, not letting your enemy know your next move. Like, if you make a predictable pattern, you're more easy to stop, and you could go that way, is just become formlessness and be able to shift into your pattern not looking like a pattern, because ultimately a pattern always does come up, but it's just like you seem more chaotic and it'll make you more successful. But I mean, none of us are fighting medieval style wars at this point. Hopefully not. You never know. It is what it is. But anyways, even just back to some things that are practical, being able to assume formlessness and do anything in any situation, and being a jack of all trades, being a multi-tool, will really help too. It's just you should be able to do whatever, shift and pivot very quickly, or just in a relative decent manner. Because like, even for example, if you've worked one job your entire life and you know how to do that, but then out of nowhere that industry dries up, and or you get laid off and you can't find work in that position anymore, what are you going to do? You're gonna sit there static rock minded and be like, oh man, this is the only thing I know how to do, like, but I can't do it. What am I gonna do? And then you're just stuck. But if you had either other skills, one or two, you just had the mental ability or the ability to be formless and understand that you can be formless, because that's the big thing. Like, I'm pretty sure anyone can be formless. Not even I'm pretty sure. Anyone can be formless. It's just mentally they have that block that says that they can't. They have defined themselves in their head. And if you don't define yourself in your head like that, you define yourself more loosely, then you could more easily shift into a different gear, so to say, and go in a different direction, pivot, and it wouldn't be nearly as turbulent as it could have been. So the ability to be formless and take no shape, not even in a deceptive way, is really helpful. It's almost like, I mean, Beast Man from Teen Titans or whatever, Beast Boy. He could fly, like he could just change into different animals. Like, you have to be similar to that and be able to adapt to different situations and scenarios. No matter how slightly you have to change yourself, but having that ability to adapt and change, Bear Grylls, adapt, survive, whatever, is key. We're not drinking urine out of snake skins, like, but at the same time, you're able to move, you're able to do something, you're able to get around an obstacle despite the fact that your initial programming wouldn't allow you to get around said obstacle. But to keep myself from rambling, I think that's all I'm going to say about this one. And finally, to finish off the 48 Laws of Power, my name is Brendan. This is the Lost Tribe. If you like this content, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. I have plenty of things in mind, but just reaching out there. And hit that subscribe button if you made it this far, because clearly you like the content. Once again, Brendan, Lost Tribe. Peace out, Cub Scout.